All right, so I always get questions from students on what do I need to do for an SAE. We'll do another video on what SAEs are for those of you parents maybe watching this video or future students that don't know what SAEs are. But basically it's what you're doing in agriculture outside of the classroom. So I always get questions, what do I do? I don't have land, I don't have a lot of resources. And so today I'm at the post office in Pulaski to start showing you one of the options that you guys have, regardless on how much land you have. Even if you're in a subdivision, chickens have become the new thing for you to have at your house. And you can do a little chicken tractor, you can have a little coop outside. They don't require a whole lot of space. So what we've done is we've ordered some chicks online through, we actually used Murray McMurray Hatchery, and they've come in this morning. So we're here at the post office to pick these up. They come in a box just like this, and inside you'll see these little guys are ready to rock and roll, and they're all looking good. What they do is before chicks hatch, they actually eat all the yolk inside of the egg. So they have all the nutrients, all the water they're going to need for about 72 hours. So as soon as they hatch, they are shipped, and that allows them time to get to where they're going. They're put on a rush order. They're also given a nutrient patty inside that helps them, gives them some extra energy, make sure they stay good and rambunctious through the trip. And then they end up coming in. They end up coming in usually first thing in the morning for folks that have ordered them. So we got a call this morning that our chicks were here, so we went and picked them up.
Something that we also like about these chicks is we can get them vaccinated.
Yes.
They actually had 2 vaccinations before they came to us.
Right, and so some people may say, well, why get chickens vaccinated? Well, one thing that's huge in the animal industry, especially when we're talking about poultry, is biosecurity and trying to eliminate the spread of disease. So what we do, since we're getting these chicks from somewhere that we don't know, well, we know where they're coming from, but because they're around so many other chickens, we can get them vaccinated, and that just helps them to make sure that they get a good start on life. We don't have to worry about any diseases that they might bring in. So these chicks are perfectly healthy. We've had them sexed so that we know which gender we're getting. We're making sure that we're getting all females. Murray McMurray says about 90% accurate on sexing the chicks.
Some of them are easier because the roosters are different colors at this stage, but some of them aren't.
Right. So you can look at different indicators depending on the breed as to what they are as far as rooster or hen. But anyway, just wanted to start out this morning and show you guys what these chicks look like, going and picking them up at the post office, and then we'll show you what it looks like when we get them put into the brooder. Okay, so we've made it to our destination where we're going to be putting our chicks in the brooder. These are the chicks that we got. We're going to read off a quick list here of what we've got. We've got 7 red star pullets, 3 biofilters. They're a new breed, German breed that we're going to try. We've got an amber star pullet in here. We've got 1 buff Orpington pullet. We've got 6 of the jumbo Cornish cross, and those are going to be our meat chickens. We're going to do a little experiment with some meat chickens and see how well we can produce those. So these are just a few days old. They should be no more than 72 hours old. We're going to put them back here in this brooder that we made a few years ago. This is just a brooder that I patterned after one that my great-granddaddy had made, and we built in class just out of some scrap materials. You've got a heat lamp back here. I do have a little wire across here so that the chicks can't get down and touch the light. And we also have some water. Now in the water the reason that I'm going over this so or going over the water is that we have some electrolytes that we put in the water, just a little bit of sugar, but that's going to give them a good burst of energy. So we also put rocks down in here, and these rocks are going to hopefully allow the chicks a place. If they do get over in there, they're not wading down into the water. If a chick gets its butt wet, Katie and I kind of joke about this a little bit, but they just give up on life. If their butt gets wet, they're going to go over here, lay down, and die. So not joking about them dying, but just that they give up on life. So we put some rocks down in here to make it not as deep. Hopefully, if they do crawl over in there, they don't go all the way down to the bottom. We also have some chick starter in here. We are using a 24% chick starter. This we got at TSC. Not that it's any better from TSC, but just out of necessity and time-wise, we got that from TSC. We also have this chick grit, and I've left this chicken feeder open here to show you. What this does is this simulates them eating small bits of rock, and that helps them to develop a little bit of grit in their stomach, as that's how they break down their food. So this is going to be for the chicks that we've already got. We've already gotten 20 pearl white leghorns, and these guys are those down here in this water trough. We got those from Rural King. We actually lucked up on a deal there. We were just going to pick 7 of them up because we couldn't buy those through Murray McMurray at the time that we needed them. They do have them, but they just weren't available. So we ran up on these guys and got them. They're just a little bit older than the chicks that we've got. So we're going to keep them separate due to age, but we're also going to keep them separate because anytime you get animals from different places, you want to keep them separated for at least some period of time, over a period of days, just to make sure if you do have any that bring in any kind of disease or sickness, that you don't cross-contaminate your flock. So these guys will eventually be together when they're closer to the same size, but because these chickens down here are from a different place and they're about a week to 2 weeks older, then we don't want to put them in here with our 72-hour-old baby chicks. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these one at a time. You can see they've got plenty of energy. They're excited. And we're going to take them, and the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to dip their beak down in this water. Now you got to remember, they're only 72 hours old, and I can feel him drinking, okay? So that's a good sign. We want them to know where the water is, and we want them to know what it tastes like. So we're just going to take them one at a time, and we're going to dip their little beaks down in here. Make sure not to shove their whole face off in there, but she's got a lot of life in her. They're naturally tasting that water, and then she's drinking. You see her turn her head up like that? She's got that bead of water, and she's trying to get it to go down her throat. And so even look, she's going back. She went straight back to that water. That's a good sign. So we want these chicks to taste the water, and we want them to keep going back. And sometimes it takes a little bit more of a fight than others. Okay? So they're liking that water. They're liking the fact that the water it tastes good to them. They've had a long couple of days. They've been on air flight. We saw where they actually went through Nashville Airport last night. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, so we're going to do that to all of them. And we're going to get them accustomed to being in here. We're going to close this up. Now chicks typically like to be in 90-degree temperatures, so that's one reason that we've got this heat lamp in here. Another thing, you want to allow them to have room for to get away from the heat lamp. You don't want the heat lamp to be the only place they go, because if this were in the center and everything was 95 degrees, then if they got too hot, they couldn't get away from it and they would overheat. So you want them to have a little bit of room to travel in. So this is just how to get started with some chicks. They'll stay in here for just a couple of weeks, few weeks, maybe 3 weeks, depending on how fast they grow, and then we'll get them out and kind of transition them into something else. But again, this doesn't take a lot of room to get them started. So maybe your long run on your SAE is, I'm just getting chicks started for people, and then I'm selling them when they get big enough to lay. Maybe it's I'm just growing them to transfer into something else. But this does not take a lot of space. This is something I could do very easily in a garage. And again, I want to point this out. This brooder that we built is out of scrap lumber. It's out of scrap wire we got from somewhere. It's nothing that, yeah, he's staring down that light. So see, if we didn't have that thing right there, he'd be going and trying to pick on that light. So he must be a little cool. He's got his feathers out. She's trying to get a little warmth. These guys over here, they can't get enough of this water. So they've all got their own little personalities, and they're gonna do what they do. But we wanna try to make sure that we get them a good jump start on life. So having the right thing, it doesn't cost a lot of money. You don't even have to order chicks online. You can order them, or you can go through places like TSC, Rule King, is another place you can get them. There are other places online to get them. Murray McMurray's not the only hatchery out there, but they're one that we've used. So this is just a little, hopefully not too long of a video, but a video to show you guys how to get your chicks started. And hopefully we can give you guys some updates.